You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast. It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery.
Got them in early. The weekend observations are never this early. Stugotz is always scribbling and writing things during the show.
It's a big weekend, Dan. Dan, I remember the first time watching him play in the NFL and thinking to myself, he has a chance to be an all-time great. I was wrong. Mike once declared he had the goods. Dude. And Stan Van Gundy laughed at him. Mike was also wrong. But Dan, he has gotten his team off to a 3-1 start and has played very well in the process, including 3 touchdowns yesterday on the road. And Dan, just like that, for the first time ever here on Weekend Observations, make no mistake about it, Baker Mayfield is back.
It hurts me to watch him play because of how hard it is to always get those 6 yards on 3rd and 5. But he's getting them.
Yes.
But he is getting them. But
you know what else he's getting? Victories.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
He's back.
He is back.
He's playing well. U.S. Ryder Cup team. Do it in Europe. I spent 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday trying to figure out how the Jets beat the Bills. And I spent 4 to 7 p.m. on Sunday trying to figure out how the Jets lost to the Patriots.
Boy, that Belichick thing is starting to hurt, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to see them be so bad.
Mm-hmm. The announcer of the Colorado-USC game said Caleb Williams will always draw comparisons to Patrick Mahomes because of his athletic ability. It's because he's black.
Wow, Stugotz.
It was Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the white athletic quarterback usually gets Steve Young, maybe Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's just the way it is. No?
Trevor Lawrence.
Wait, what are you
doing?
Comparisons.
No,
you got a million comparisons.
Oh, no.
What are you doing? What just happened?
Apologize like you apologize to Jonathan Coachman.
What do you,
apologize
do you guys
to
think what's happening?
I think it's happened.
Did you make Caleb Williams white?
No. No.
I'm genuinely confused what you're doing.
What do you mean?
Why'd you just mention the athletic white quarterback?
I was just saying that's where
Was there one playing in that
he's
game?
comparing Caleb to Patrick because both are black. The white athletic quarterback never gets compared to Patrick or Caleb.
Okay,
he always gets Steve Young or Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Kick, save, and a Butte.
Thank you. Roy gets it. Let me follow along here. Let's go. What happened?
I think you have to apologize to Jonathan Coachman again. Or Gus Johnson. Somebody. You got to apologize to somebody. We'll do it later.
Or the history of what Caleb's generally looked like previously.
Well.
And Patrick's, for that matter.
I apologize to Roy.
Thanks.
All right.
Do you accept it or you?
No, I'll think about it later.
Right.
I mean, Roy, I needed you.
I'll think about it later.
I tried to bail you out there, man. I'm sorry.
I thought I did a good job of it afterwards.
You did
I
it.
clarified.
You really didn't.
What I was trying to say, I clarified it. Let's move on. Tell me the last time.
This is why you don't wade into those waters. This is why you always cannonball. Like, why is this the time that you chose to wade into those waters?
I don't think, I mean, listen, I'll have to listen back to the tape and see if I said anything wrong, but I'm not certain I did. I got to be honest. We'll see. Dion, thank you. And scratch off the next observation, Mike. I am getting out of this topic, okay?
You have them
I had
in
another
front?
Caleb one, but let's bail on that
Give it to
one.
Dan.
You have
Dan,
them,
so
you
you
have
can
them
read
in
it.
front of you. You want
Yeah.
to give it to Roy? You want to go back there and give it to Roy?
Well, I mean, Roy can come here. I mean, I'm busy.
Whoa, that's
Whoa.
not a good look.
Whoa.
That's
Roy, I mean, come here.
not-
Roy,
not
Roy,
a good look.
I'll email them to you, Roy.
Given this the way
Roy,
this
I'll
is
email
going,
them
the
to you.
optics, The optics.
Roy,
are
I love you.
The optics are bad.
I'm sorry!
I love yous do not fix what's happening right now.
I didn't ask for any of this.
Yes, for all of it.
I'm
need-
sorry, Roy.
Tell him no need to get angry.
Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin, get a room. Also, goosebumps.
Get a room. That was a beautiful moment.
I said goosebumps.
Get a room.
But seriously, get a room.
Well, which is it? It can't be both of those things. Don't do that in public, but when you do it in public, it gives me goosebumps.
When we look back at what a big deal we made about Colorado beating TCU, we're going to be embarrassed. Dan, you know what the CU in Colorado University stands for? It stands for see you next year. How about that? You know what the U in UCF stands for?
I do not.
You shouldn't have joined a real conference. You know what the F stands for?
No.
Frauds.
Oh, wow.
34-14 USC in the first half, 27-14 Colorado in the second half. You, of course, know what that game was, right, Dan? Yeah, look at you. You're good at that one.
Yeah,
that one you always get, yeah. Tip of the cap to Tim Wakefield. R.I.P. It's a sad day. Right in the middle of the day yesterday, right?
Oh, and
Timmy Wakefield.
Schilling.
Yeah.
Schilling, what are you doing? Betraying health confidences. What are you doing?
Being Kurt Schilling. Dan, you know what the B in Buck Showalter stands for?
I do not.
It stands for bye-bye. You know what the S stands for?
Shit out of luck.
Somebody show that man the door. Shit out of luck was a good one, though.
Was his heartfelt apology on paper? Like, did I experience that the wrong way?
How did you experience it?
It seemed like he was like, I have a lot of things to say, but he was reading right off of a piece of paper, but saying he didn't want to miss anything and that it was heartfelt. And then at the end, he's like, I can't say anymore. Or he was going to start crying. But he was like, has anyone ever cried off of something that they were reading off a piece of paper?
I just gave my brother's eulogy.
Jeez.
I mean, you asked.
Walked right into that one.
You asked.
Got your ass, Billy.
You asked.
You like that card.
I mean, you asked.
Feel like I'm off the hook. The dead brother card. 18 years, almost 3,000 innings pitched, and Adam Wainwright gets a puppy?
It's a good gift.
It is? Miguel Cabrera.
Now, here's a lifelong responsibility.
Heck of a run. It was a slow run, but well done.
It did get slow at the end. That run did get slow as he milked the rest of his contract.
Bill Belichick, New York Jets, collision course. You heard it here first. Bill Belichick will be the next head coach of the LA Chargers. You heard it here first. Bill Belichick is going to be the next head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Dan, that looks like Joe Burrow, but that ain't Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Aidan O'Connell, great name for an Irish pub. Headline, Kim Kardashian and Odell Beckham Jr. are hanging out. OBJ, my headline, they are having sex. Matt Rule, you forgot your ski mask. Dan, you know what the O in Odell Beckham stands for? It stands for, oh yeah, I'm most definitely having sex with Kim.
Orgasm is what I was going to say. But you asked me and then you kept you just kept running into that field where it's like there are people having sex and I'm going to shout about it.
What I'm doing is sprinting away from Caleb Williams. That's what I'm doing.
I saw a report that Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady were flirting again. What happens if Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift are at the same stadium at the same time? Both sportsing.
Something to ponder.
Just file that away for a rainy day. Thanks, Stugotz.
The Jaguars finally played a home game. There's no two ways about it, Dan.
Did you miss the 9:30 start again at Le Show? Did you forget that
It's time for Stugotz to share his.
Whoops. Yeah, we need just the music and not the intro. Jacksonville, again, I forgot the 9:30 game at Le Show. Did you forget about 9:30 a.m. football yesterday? Can you do it a cappella or do you need the music, Stugotz?
I don't care. It's up
All
to
right,
you guys.
keep it going because Jessica at this point is physically falling on the floor and is perpendicular to the ground, parallel to the ground. Go ahead, Stugotz.
All right. Dan, there's no two ways about it. If I have Carvel, I'm spending the entire next day on the can. Had to make a hard decision over the weekend. and I decided that me and Carvel have danced our last dance.
I got to be honest. That is worse. That all sounds worse when it's got no, it doesn't have the music behind it. Okay, Jessica, go sit in the penalty box.
Oh, my God.
Go sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
I am so off the hook. Yes.
It can't happen twice. You got to go sit in the penalty box.
Huh.
I'm not a sound engineer. I don't know why you're asking me to do this.
I understand, but you only because physically.
I did not ask for any.
Okay,
of this.
but you're
Not a girl.
You look like you're in charge of things, so you're going to have to go sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes.
Oh, no!
But now we've got no music, and you're going to have to do this a cappella, Stugotz. And I prefer the visual image of you eating too much Carvel.
Is it a quantity thing?
It's just anything. I mean, any amount of Carvel, I spend the entire next day on the can.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I don't know.
Oh, he
man.
must be at this point. I got to think that that's what's happening at this point, and he's undiagnosed. Put it on the poll. Do you spend the entire day on the can after you've eaten Carvel? I saw that Zach Wilson showed up at Jets camp and bought everyone ice cream.
Really?
That's something that he actually did, yeah.
Huh.
And then they did nap time, and he bought him Legos, too, afterward, because he's 4 years old.
It's also not his last dance,
Right.
Carvel, if I were to bet.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Probably not my last dance. You're right. Yeah.
It's just an empty threat.
Duke Notre Dame should be called the Entitlement Bowl. Ken Jong is the best Duke can do. Really?
Yes, that would have been the best Duke victory ever. That would have been the biggest win in program history.
I'm talking about as a celebrity picker on College Game Day. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Georgia, congratulations on doing what you had to do, on pulling out an ugly win, and on surviving and advancing. Well done. The Bulldogs. The rare trifecta there. Huh? Also, as I told you last week, something is just a little off in Athens. Notre Dame is a player away from being undefeated. Only Sam Hartman has the longevity to be the only quarterback to beat Duke playing for two different teams.
Stugotz, it was 4th and 16.
Yeah.
And if you had Duke and bet them like I did, money line and points.
Yep.
Money line and points. Do you know how heartbreaking it is to have Notre Dame win that way at the end, where they were just trying to hand the ball off to get a field goal?
I do. I had Notre Dame.
And I was already counting at least my money, and I'm saying I'm going to split here if I've got the money line and the points.
Right.
And then I was surprised by it and started doing counting when he got to the end zone. I'm like, no! Like, that was a 5.5 point spread. No, you were trying to get in a field goal range. It surprised me.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited for the sports moment. It was just my money flying away.
Dan, it took 155 games, but baseball is starting to heat up. Sam Hartman can scoot. So could Justin Herbert. That was surprising. Sam Hartman, good name for a member of a rock band. Top 5 quarterbacks who have good names for a member of a rock band.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Number 5, Doak Walker. Number 4, thank you, Brock Berlin.
Yeah, also good, yes.
Number 3,
It's a real wheelhouse for him.
Bailey Zappi. Number 2, Sammy Baugh. And number 1, Elvis Gerback.
Good list. Solid list.
Here come the Padres.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What?
Won 5 straight.
But wait,
He's right, yeah.
no. They're one of the most disappointing teams ever. They did not make the playoffs. What do you mean? Here come the
Don't let
Padres.
him get to October, Dan.
Exactly.
But no,
the gold, the
nobody
Padres.
did. Nobody
Peaking
did
at the
let
right
them-
time.
Nobody
Yeah.
did let them get to October. I mean, they're they're an apocalyptic failure.
Here's something to ponder. Is Sam Hartman good? 60 minutes. Go back to Boulder. I dare you. Rory McIlroy.
No, you always
Joe
you
LaCava.
always
Chippy.
your dyslexia is never worse than on McElroy.
Chippy, though. I know. It's the worst. Miami Marlins. Gutsy little baseball team. Hey, NFL. If you're trying to grow the game in London, you probably shouldn't have sent Desmond Ritter, death, taxes, and Chase Claypool running his mouth. Latavius Murray, professional football player.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Lebitard Show. Latavius Murray, comma, professional football player. And just yes or no.
Will Lutz is a Denver Bronco. Denver Broncos, congratulations on bouncing back and getting off the schneid. Chicago Bears, Great loss. Wherever Sean Payton goes, I can promise you one thing and one thing only. Will Lutz won't be very far behind.
It's a great name. It's a great comedic name. Will Lutz.
D'Amico Ryans, Coach of the Year, Collision Course. The Jets beat the Bills. The Dolphins lost to the Bills. Football, Buffalo Bills. Message sent. Heard you loud and clear. Riverboat Ron my ass. 31-20. Interesting time to go for Tua. Golf and football on a Sunday morning. Is this heaven? I asked Abby that. She said, for you, yes. For me, it's my personal hell. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's Mike Ryan. I want to talk to you about Miller Lite. What's your favorite place to watch a game? Is it at the stadium, at a sports bar, in your living room with your pals? I'm sure all are great, so long as you have that beautiful white can of ice-cold Miller Lite by your side at just 96 calories a can. Miller Lite is the only light beer you'll want to celebrate the great game of football with all season long. Whether you're at that stadium, whether you're in that living room, whether you're in that bar, please just make sure Miller Lite is by your side. Crack it open. Crack it open right at kickoff. Time it out. It's amazing. 96 calories. That's right, folks. 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. Smooth taste, crisp, clean finish. You know it. You know it. I tell you every week, you get the taste you crave without the calories. This season, crack open a light beer that hits your taste buds so hard, you feel it in your heart. Make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Fall is just around the corner, and if you're like me, you're settling back into a busier routine. You know I like to go on vacation, so I'm going to be traveling a lot this fall to football games and events with Golic and DraftKings, and that's why I recommend Simply Safe Home Security and their revolutionary home monitoring innovation, 24/7 live guard protection. It's designed to help stop crime in real time. Now, if an intruder breaks into your home, Simply Safe professional monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter them through Simply Safe's new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera, warning them that police are on their way. The new Smart Alarm indoor camera is also the only indoor security camera that can trigger the alarm and instantly deter intruders with a built-in siren. Simply Safe was named the best home security system of 2023 by U.S. News & World Report. For a limited time, get 20% off your new system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Visit simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Don Le Batard.
Well, Charlie sent. Charlie had this. Charlie, as far as I know, so just Charlie's title in my.
Are you going to say anything?
Stugotz.
And how familiar were you at the time with Chewbacca? Like how your upbringing had how much Chewbacca in it?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Chris Cody and the laugh of Chris Cody and Tony are across the street at Heat Media Day. They are telling us that Bam Adebayo will be around here shortly. Hopefully at some point they will come and talk to us about all of the ridiculousness out there at Heat Media Day. I am finding myself in a weird, uncomfortable place with how people get about football around here on Mondays. Stugotz, who I've got to tell you, at this point, there are like burning embers that rarely spark up to life when it comes to sports. But for some reason, moments ago, Stugotz, I thought he was talking to somebody because we were trying to get the sound right from where Tony and Chris are at the Heat. And so I didn't know who you were talking to when you spit straight ahead. Good loss for the Dolphins. This is what you said straight ahead.
Right.
And I'm hearing that, and I'm thinking that's your thought, that you think it was a good loss for the Dolphins. But then you say, again, I can't tell who you're talking to. You say, how was it a good loss? What was good about it? You're talking to your computer. You weren't talking to me. You weren't talking to a human being.
Yes.
You were talking to whom? ESPN.com?
I was talking to First Take. That is one of the questions that Stephen A. and Shannon are debating today. How is it a good loss? Let me guess the angle. This is why it's a good loss, okay? Because the Dolphins were getting full of themselves. Everyone was talking about the Dolphins, best team in the NFL. this gets them back to basics. Good loss. They lost to a team in their division, the team they're trying to chase and beat in that division. It was not a good loss. It was a terrible, horrible loss. That's it.
But that's why it's on your screen. It's on your screen to get that reaction from you so that they can continue to engage you somehow in ways that I never will. And in the middle of that, as Stugotz is yelling at his computer, Jessica's yelling at me. Because I had the audacity, I wasn't even talking to her. I was talking to Lucy, but Jessica got very fired up at the idea that I would have anything in the way of compassion for Duke fans in football, because they've never won anything. They were this close to the biggest win in program history, and not only do they get it stripped from them in the last minute by Notre Dame, but as an added bonus, their poor quarterback was snapped in half at the end of the game, like physically snapped in half in a gruesome. You're rolling your eyes at me now.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. First of all, I hope Riley Leonard's okay, because he looked like he was in a lot of pain after the game, but preliminary reports seem to indicate he will be back, hopefully in the next few weeks. The ankle injury or whatever injury it was, I don't think they've said yet.
It was horrible.
He was not as bad as they initially thought. So that's great news, and I wish him the best. He was a very good quarterback, and if Mike Elko had decided to go for it on 4th and 6th, I think he would have gotten the first down, and I think Duke would have won the game. He was gashing Notre Dame's defense on those last 2 drives, even though the second drive should have started on the 1 because the ACC officials screwed up a review that they shouldn't have been able to review and made it a touchback, but we won't go there today. I am very happy that he does not seem to be grievously injured. And I like Mike Elko, and I like
all
Duke's
of the
team.
qualifiers.
Very good.
A lot of qualifiers.
However,
okay,
drop the hammer.
You weren't
go.
yelling at me. You weren't. None of this was yelled at me. None of those things.
I didn't. You made it out to seem like I was happy that this guy got hurt, and I want to make sure that people know that that's not the case because it's not.
I wasn't making anything out.
What if you lost and he got hurt?
To seem anything. I was talking to Lucy. I was talking to Lucy.
We're telling Lucy that you felt bad for Duke fans, which made me roll my eyes because I think it's one thing. I'm a Notre Dame fan. People hate Notre Dame. I get it. We deserve it 99.9% of the time. We suck. I get it. All college football fans suck. We suck a lot. It's fine. However, if you say, Duke and Notre Dame, I wish a meteor would strike that field and both teams would lose, I'd be like, haha, good one. You're right.
But Duke football has suffered.
Be like, oh, Duke, poor Duke. They don't win anything. Poor Duke. They're Duke. They're still Duke, okay? They started caring about football like 2 years ago.
Duke football had a track.
And they're very good.
A track
they could win the ACC.
around the field a few years ago. Famously, they played at a stadium. They were not playing big time college football. They had a track around their field, like you would see at Chaminade High School.
Look, I get it. I said the same thing after they beat Clemson. I said I can't believe that Dabo Swinney seems to be so reviled by the rest of college football fans that people are actually rooting for Duke right now. And it was the same thing on Saturday night. It's like, everyone hates Notre Dame so much that we're rooting for Duke, and I can't stand for it.
Jessica,
we need to draw the line.
They are a scrappy
here.
underdog in that sport, though.
But they're Duke.
Jessica, that was the biggest game in program history.
They're a good team. You're being patronizing.
That's the biggest game in program history. That would have been the biggest win in program history, and it is heartbreaking to lose that way.
I agree.
You have them in 4th and 16.
My team did it last weekend.
You need
her
one
point
play.
is, Dan, her
but
point
your
is,
team has been in the conversation in college football for 100 years since Chubby Checker. Since Chubby Checker was running down the sidelines.
I agree with you.
But Jess's larger point, and she's right, there are certain fan bases. Those kids at Duke, they're going to be just fine.
It's the same fans. The same fans that are fans of the men's basketball team that are at the game. Although I did hear from a lot of people at the game, there were a lot of Notre Dame fans there. Very audible, let's go Irish at the end of the game.
So if there are any fans we can agree we love this weekend, it was Ole Miss. They stormed the field after beating LSU, and it was major, act like you've been here before energy, because they were going wild. Security guys were chucking on.
Oh, that was such good video.
We've got it all. We have a fan climbing the goalpost. It was a player got hit. It is classic content.
The security guard didn't have a lot of success here, Stugotz, although he gave an elbow to the larynx. A woman went flailing. That's how Jessica thinks I would look holding the football on the field, jumping up in the air and throwing the ball behind me. Then there was this goalpost guy here. This is
Chalamet.
This is always unwise. He's got Jimmy Butler's hair. from Media Day, and he's this is always the behavior. I've hammered people to get up on a goalpost here, and Stugotz, it's very high up, more high up than people think
Why
it
is
is.
he kissing the field goal post as if a missed kick decided the game?
Why do men always climb things?
All the
Stop
time.
That's a good
climbing
point.
things.
Yeah.
That's a good
You're
point.
going to get hurt.
Put it on the poll. Why do men always climb things?
Here we go. This is the
when
best part.
He
I watched
does a
this 100
somersault.
times
Yes, he
yesterday.
does. There are multiple angles of this here. He thought he had it.
Oh,
My God, he is broken in half.
so close.
That hurts. He is less injured than the Duke quarterback.
His shins. How did his shins survive
ouch.
that?
Security should let him go. He got that high up there. You should just let him go free.
That is how exciting we all feel in our soul when Brian Kelly loses.
Here's one of his players taking out an Ole Miss fan, which I'm not so mad about this one.
Yes, this was. Yes, that's assault right there. That hurts.
This is why the SEC does not want fans to storm the field. It is not safe for players. It is not safe for the fans. This is why Ole Miss is getting fined $100,000.
Look at how happy Lucy is.
Hotty toddy.
Lucy, what is the best?
His face when he realized, oh no, I'm about to find out.
There was so much funny in all of these videos, but the camera work on enraged LSU player going after thin, shirtless, clearly drunk guy in uniform, one of them not wearing a shirt and needing the protection of all of security, and the other guy just the player enraged in a way that would scare anybody.
His face was one of those like freeze frame, look how I got here moment. He was terrified, and he should have been.
Okay, but let me explain just to the audience that is not watching this on video. Shirtless guy who weighs 109 pounds, and also, what did he have on his head? A towel or a T-shirt of some sort?
the best shot.
Cinematic.
It is. No, this is what I'm saying. The camera work on this is electric because the funny faces of fear and rage that you see emerge, you have to laugh at it, except if you're the shirtless guy who weighs 110 pounds. You're horrified. You're totally scared.
It just means more.
We have to put the stills of those faces, just those faces.
That right there. Guy's about to find out.
Folks, welcome to the electrifying world of AFK with Ninja, hosted by professional streamer and gamer Tyler Ninja Blevins. Join Ninja twice a week as he dives into the internet and the ever-changing realms of music, sports, comedy, gaming, and entertainment to uncover the latest projects and excitement brewing within these industries. In the interview portion of the show, Ninja will engage in insightful interviews with prominent leaders, artists, and creators, delving into their upcoming endeavors, exploring the depths of their creativity, and showcasing the remarkable talents and achievements of these esteemed guests. In the variety portion of the show, Ninja himself takes center stage. Through behind-the-scenes stories, hilarious recurring segments, and community engagement, Ninja will share his own journey, experiences, and perspectives on the trending news of the week, adding an intimate touch to the show. Tune into AFK with Ninja, wherever you get your podcasts.
Don Batard.
Jess, you can't talk about double-digit national titles when every single call of you winning the national title sounds like this. Oh, there's Chubby Checker running down the sideline. if the audio... Yeah,
That's not true.
Yeah, and there's a World War II veteran pitching into another white guy, and he avoids another white guy. Oh, my God, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish have done it again for the 8th time, only playing white people.
Stugotz.
Chubby Checker.
I'm sorry.
He's black.
He's black, and I was like, what's a white named Chubby Checker? I picked a black. I'm sorry, man. I'm improv in here. It's a pretty cool riff.
Hawaiian Chubby Checker running down the side.
He spells it differently. All right, his name is Chubby. Maybe you didn't hear me correctly. His name is Chubby Checkers. There's an S at the end.
I feel like that should be the largest of fines.
Yeah, Chubby. Yeah, it's Chubby Checker. It sounds like a college football name.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. Do many Swifties believe Zach Wilson is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? That is a possibility, is it not?
Yes.
That is the first game that Patrick Mahomes has played where the other quarterback leads him in all the statistics. Has better statistics across the board. And Stugotz had happened to him with a bet, the same thing that happened with me and the Duke game. I hadn't considered the possibility that Notre Dame in 4th and 16 was going to score a touchdown. I thought they were getting in position to kick a field goal, then they run the ball, and they go 40 yards with it, and then they snap Duke's quarterback in half. But Stugotz, at the end of Kansas City, the Jets hadn't considered the possibility that Mahomes would not try to get a rushing touchdown there when he came around the corner. He's got the Chiefs -8.
Yep.
The Chiefs are up 3, less than 2 minutes left in the game, and Mahomes has a clear entry to the touchdown, and he slides inbounds because they've got no timeouts left, and the Chiefs kept the ball for the last 8 minutes of the game. What are you smiling about, Billy?
I'm smiling because that was my against the spread pick last week, and I was castigated for taking the Jets plus 10.5.
Yep.
And I don't want to say who. Someone accused me of not taking the segment seriously. Someone levied that accusation against me, and it paid off. It was Dan.
You're doing very well in that competition.
Thank you.
Is it?
I'm trying to go for the big prize at the end.
Huh.
We're all doing well, if I remember
we're all doing
correctly.
excellent.
Big prize. Oh,
There's
Lucy.
a prize?
Yeah.
No one told me.
You don't know about the prize?
You guys don't tell me anything, ever. I don't know anything that's ever going on here.
Just make sure you bring it. Next time we play.
You're new here.
Against the spread.
But Stugotz, you hadn't considered that he would try to just run out the clock there and kneel at the 1 yard line?
Oh, no, I'm not alone here. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had a chance. So, Dan, I'm watching that game, and it's not bad enough that the Jets are losing a game that they could have won. It would have been very exciting had they won that game. And Zach Wilson played maybe the best game Zach Wilson has ever played. But if I'm going to watch my team lose, can I at least win the bet? And Mahomes had a chance to win that bet, not just for me, for an entire country. And he decided not to.
For all the Swifties.
Yes.
For all the degenerate gambling Swifties.
I was getting texts from Carl Douglas, so was Billy, at midnight saying what a bad beat it was. I mean,
it is a bad beat. Indisputably a bad beat. Speaking of bad beats, I want to go to Vegas. Transition. The Sphere, I didn't understand this weekend why everyone was talking about the Sphere when I thought we all during Summer League had already done that, but I guess the cocoon of the small basketball cocoon is such that a soft launch of the Sphere during Summer League, I thought, I was surprised yesterday and over the weekend when everyone was fascinated by the Sphere in Vegas because my echo chamber of small basketball world had already been fascinated by this thing. Was it that the video is better?
It's because you only saw video from the outside. Yeah. Now we actually see what it's like because it's primarily a concert venue. Yeah. And everyone was wondering, well, if that's a view from the outside, what's it like to see a show in there? And you two finally opened the venue as an active live music venue, and the videos are pretty awe-inspiring from there, as you can see right now on DraftKings Network and our YouTube page. Not a lot of stage production there, not a lot of stage production necessary when you have that world's biggest screen behind you. I can only imagine what it's like to take this tripping on drugs.
This is Giant Vegas at its best, pouring a ton of money into we are going to try and give you the best visual experience of your lifetime in music because, you know, the economy of Vegas, Stugotz, many acts go and stay there for a long time. They can fill any venue. Acts that can every night fill your venue. But this is a different level of money and size and excess and gluttony. This thing is as big as America could do big, festive American things.
Is this the best things James Dolan has ever done?
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Batard Show.
That of the band. I mean,
oh my God, his band should have opened. Why didn't his band open this?
The Straight Shooters?
Yeah. Straight shot. Fine, yeah, big fan.
Yep, $5. Yeah.
I would trip and fall in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I would throw up if I was in there.
I have vertigo just watching this.
You think people are getting dizzy?
I hope they have good insurance.
I'm nauseous just watching.
Is it because of the elevation?
The video from here, Stugotz, of epic things. It looks like the biggest movie stuff you've ever. Thank you, Stugotz.
You got it. Define.
God, imagine seeing Fast 11 there.
He gets there very fast. It's the only part of his game that's
you don't screw up that bad. I mean, you never screw up, and so I
said
seize on
Moofy.
it.
I did. I said Moofy, and I screw up more than ever.
Moofy.
And you are somehow
Big
still
fun.
faster than ever to get to the fines.
Sounds like a dog.
Let's all go to the movies.
Come here, Moofy.
I'm thinking the Super Bowl is in Vegas, Dan, and the Sphere is maybe something we should rent for the week. What do you think?
I don't want to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, if you lose that bet to the Danettes, then we have
What is the bet?
I don't know. They're in charge of that.
Ooh, let's make a bet
Well, we had that chance and didn't make the
that we can rent out. The
We'll get
Sphere.
to it. Yeah.
At some point, we'll get to
They're
it.
not using the Sphere for good because they should just show cell phone video from Ole Miss. Constantly behind Bono.
On all of the giant screens that make it look like elephants are roaming the property.
Oh, that's
because-
Darren Aronofsky's short film that he's also premiering at MSG in the Sphere. God, I just want to trip in there.
James Dolan.
Yeah, I would. Trip.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Is it because of the elevation?
Yeah, we heard you the first time.
Weren't you tripping yesterday?
I was. You know, a lot of people came at
I was
my mentions.
asking you, Mike.
sorry.
Stugotz said yes, and I was asking you.
A lot of people called me a peepaw because I was like, wow, judging Mad Dog's afternoon football gummies. So I took his advice. A little 25 milligram, and we were off.
25?
Yeah.
25 milligrams?
Holy shit.
No, I had to bring out the Cadillac for Toy Story
25.
Fun Day.
Jesus, Mike.
Wait a
At
minute.
9:30 in the morning?
Oh, yeah, we were off.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
25 milligrams?
Yeah.
You're
Definitely
soaking
still
your-
high right now.
Your system with...
No, I'm good. The only thing that I feel are my
25.
teeth still feel like they're growing. Right here.
Right.
I mean, canines.
They do look longer today.
Yeah, well, now I'm paranoid. My lungs are a little bit heavy. It felt like someone was just sitting on my chest as Bijan Robinson was making incredible cuts. And I don't know if you watch any of the Toy Story broadcasts, Dan, but we got off to a roaring start where everything broke. And we were just looking at a slinky dog behind an animated Booger McFarlane.
They did Booger so dirty.
Why? Because Booger was talking to us.
Not as fast with you, Billy. It's only for
Barely?
me. It's only with me that he gets there that fast.
Well, Dan, I don't know if you're familiar with the Toy Story movie, but these are characters from that animated movie, and it's wildly popular, and they animated the Falcons and the Jaguars. Now, it was on a bit of a delay, but I think somewhere around middle of the third quarter, the tech finally started finding its groove, and your boy finally settled into 25 milligrams.
I have to object for a second.
Jesus.
For those who aren't familiar with that, sounds like a lot. Half of that is plenty, correct? Half
Yeah,
of that.
10's usually
A
like
third
a
of
sweet
that.
spot. No, but I wanted to fall into my couch. I wanted basically a salvia experience with this. And I got to tell you, Mad Dog, I was wrong because I really enjoyed Toy Story Fun Day.
A lot of people liked it. Everyone had the same criticism. It got off to a slow start. It was a disaster, but then afterward it looked amazing. And
Yeah.
you could watch Trevor Lawrence's replica run around scramble to his right and throw a pea 17 yards to the right
In
sideline.
Andy's bedroom, as Andy imagined it. But they did Booger dirty because they made him look like this bobblehead when then the guy next to him, Drew Carter, looks like Prince Charming for some reason. It really was. He had a massive head compared to the other guy.
I was wondering what was going to happen during a major injury.
Yeah.
Would they have like a toy ambulance going
Or a
under the
fight,
field or something?
Yeah.
Did your children enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Claire liked it, then ran off and did something else, came back and saw it and liked it again.
Children. No, my daughter was out of town. I was just totally by myself, me and my dog. And I was tripping on 25 milligrams. And it was wonderful. We need to do that again.
Yesterday
How'd you
was
feel
a
when
movie.
How'd you feel when 1 o'clock rolled around?
When 1 o'clock
Yeah.
rolled around, then I
Yeah.
had to go to my niece's birthday, and that was a whole thing.
What?
That seems like a disaster in judgment, everything that you did.
Huh?
To go to your
Planning a birthday Sunday at 1 o'clock.
to go to your all of it. Yeah, I believe you told us not to have a parade. We had a
Is this
parade.
tooth sharper?
Hold on a second.
Feels sharper.
We had a parade that the show had to be at, and you didn't go to, even though you were right there in the city because you said you can't put celebrations around NFL football. Then 25 milligram hopped up.
Yeah. It was a whole thing. I do it to avoid resentments. You know how the family dynamics work. It was almost as if, hey, this is a challenge. Your wife and your daughter are out of town, but your niece's birthday is on this day. I bet you won't come, and we're going to use it against you. Nah. I'm not going to let you use that against me. I'm going to park my butt right there,
Uncle,
and I'm going to privately lament that you don't have red zone, and I'm just glued to this one game. Don't worry, I came prepared.
Attaboy,
Got a phone.
Wait, you showed them by showing up high to a children's birthday party? That's how you showed
That's
them?
right.
Got
That's
it.
right. Not just high, but high in a way that alarms all of us with a milligram count that we're all like, oh my God, your tolerance level is pretty good.
I feel like at that
me.
I feel like at that point they'd prefer you just not be there.
Guys, there's a long time between 8:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. kickoff and 12 o'clock Uber ride.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Lebitard Show. Is a 25 milligram gummy going to keep you high for 24 hours?
Well, I told you about that one time I accidentally took 100 milligrams not knowing, and I almost died.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, I told you about that time.
You're still high from that.
Yeah, I was locked in the Keys, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just die because I'm not going to have the helicopter come pick me up.
Tell me this. You're not going to say who gave it to you, but it was somebody who's tolerant.
A pro wrestler, a famous pro wrestler, gave me
and told you
an
to be
edible.
careful.
He told me no matter what I did, not to take more than half. But all right, so I took half. I tore it in half, and I had the slightly. It wasn't an even cut. I took the slightly bigger one because why would this wrestler do me like that? And then I proceeded to fall off my bed, and it felt like I fell forever. Like Val Kilmer and Batman Forever. I
Hulk
fell.
Hogan should be ashamed of himself.
Hulk Hogan has a line of puff sticks now. Is that what they call them?
I don't know what a puff stick is.
You know, like these disposable vapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Puff stick.
I don't know what they call them.
Do you know?
Disposable vape.
But
Is that what they call them?
just stop for just a second.
That's not catchy. No way that they're calling them disposable vapes.
That's what I asked for.
I'd like again to just point out to people that the impeccable judgment of one Mike Ryan, who tries to attempt to lead us here daily. A professional wrestler told him, be careful. And merrily, he skipped past that stop sign, an industry that kills its strongmen with partying. You're an idiot.